9 worst morning habits that secretly make you age faster after 50. It's easy to think aging just comes down to genetics. But the truth is, some of the choices made in the first hour of your day could be silently speeding up the clock. The stiffness, the brain fog, the low energy, they are not just signs of age, they are signals from your body asking you to change something. And the most surprising part? It often begins with the tiniest morning habits. What you ignore now could cost you clarity, mobility, and even years down the road. Let's uncover what might be aging you before your feet even hit the floor. If you care about staying sharp, strong, and vibrant after 50, these small changes can make a big difference. Subscribe for more science-backed, senior-focused wellness tips. And if something in this video hits home, leave a comment. You never know who you'll help by sharing your story. Skipping breakfast may feel harmless, even convenient, but for people over 50, it can quietly chip away at energy, focus, and overall health. After a night of fasting, the body needs a steady source of fuel to wake up vital systems. Without it, blood sugar drops, metabolism slows, and stress hormones like cortisol remain elevated longer than they should. These imbalances may lead to fatigue, irritability, and an increase in cravings later in the day, often for high-sugar or high-fat comfort foods that accelerate inflammation and weight gain. As the body ages, insulin sensitivity tends to decline. When breakfast is skipped, the first meal of the day often ends up being larger and harder to process, placing more strain on blood sugar regulation. This can trigger sharp spikes and crashes that impact mood, memory, and cardiovascular health. Some studies have shown that older adults who skip breakfast regularly have a higher risk of type 2 diabetes and heart disease. In contrast, those who eat a balanced morning meal tend to show better blood pressure control and improved cholesterol levels. Cognitive health is also closely tied to morning nutrition. The brain relies on a steady stream of glucose for function. Without breakfast, older adults may experience mental fog, forgetfulness, and slower reaction times, subtle signs that are sometimes mistaken for just getting older. However, when the brain is properly fueled early in the day, concentration improves, reaction time sharpens, and mood stabilizes. A balanced breakfast can also help support the production of neurotransmitters like serotonin, which regulate sleep, appetite, and emotional well-being. Muscle preservation is another key reason to avoid skipping breakfast after 50. Age-related muscle loss, or sarcopenia, is a natural process, but it can be slowed by consistent intake of high-quality protein spaced throughout the day. Missing breakfast means missing a valuable opportunity to supply the muscles with amino acids during the body's most catabolic window, the morning. Including proteins such as eggs, Greek yogurt, or a handful of nuts at breakfast can support muscle strength, mobility, and independence later in life. A healthy breakfast doesn't need to be heavy or complicated. It just needs to provide stable energy, nourishment, and support for the body's natural rhythms. Whole grains, lean protein, healthy fats, and a portion of fruit or vegetables can form a foundation that protects against inflammation, supports metabolic health, and sets a calm, balanced tone for the day ahead. For adults over 50, skipping breakfast isn't a harmless habit, it's a missed opportunity to protect the brain, the heart, and the body's natural energy systems. Choosing to eat in the morning is one of the simplest, most consistent ways to age with strength, clarity, and vitality. Drinking coffee before water in the morning is a habit many fall into without realizing how it affects the aging body. After hours of sleep, the body is naturally dehydrated. Cells are thirsty, circulation is slower, and digestion is just beginning to restart. Reaching immediately for coffee, a natural diuretic, places extra pressure on the kidneys, which are already less efficient at filtering waste as we age. Without replenishing fluids first, coffee can lead to further dehydration, increasing fatigue, fogginess, and strain on vital organs. For adults over 50, hydration becomes more than just a comfort, it's a necessity for cell repair, joint lubrication, and brain function. Even mild dehydration has been shown to impair mood, concentration, and memory in older adults. Starting the day without water can leave the body playing catch-up all morning, often causing symptoms that are mistaken for aging, when in reality, the body is simply asking for hydration. Water is essential for delivering oxygen and nutrients to tissues, supporting the heart, and regulating blood pressure. Without it, the body's systems, especially those already weakened by time, can't function optimally. Coffee stimulates the adrenal glands and raises cortisol levels, which naturally peak in the early morning hours. When consumed before any water, this stimulation can lead to a rapid rise in stress hormones, increasing anxiety, jitteriness, and digestive upset. Over time, this pattern can fatigue the adrenal system and disrupt the body's natural stress regulation. For those already managing blood pressure, anxiety, or digestive sensitivity, starting the day with coffee before water can compound those issues and make mornings feel harder than they need to be. Drinking a glass of water first thing in the morning serves a quiet but powerful purpose. It reactivates the digestive tract, prepares the stomach lining, and gently wakes up the liver and kidneys to begin their detoxifying roles. Adding a slice of lemon, cucumber, or even a pinch of sea salt can enhance this process by supplying trace minerals and promoting gentle alkalinity. This small habit supports healthy metabolism, clearer thinking, and better nutrient absorption throughout the day. Water before coffee doesn't mean giving up coffee. It means allowing the body to wake up on its own terms, with support, not stimulation. For adults over 50, this mindful shift in routine helps maintain kidney health, improve focus, and ease morning tension. It's a small adjustment with wide-reaching benefits, giving the body what it truly needs before asking it to perform. Staying in bed scrolling on your phone first thing in the morning might seem harmless, even comforting, but for adults over 50, it can quietly disturb some of the body's most important systems. The eyes and brain are extremely sensitive to light after waking, and blue light from screens sends a powerful signal that disrupts the body's natural circadian rhythm. This rhythm controls not just sleep, but hormone release, digestion, and even cell repair. When blue light is absorbed too early and too quickly, melatonin production shuts down too fast, and cortisol, the stress hormone, spikes unnaturally high. This artificial cortisol surge can create a sense of anxiety, irritability, or tension that lingers into the day. For older adults, whose sleep cycles are already more delicate due to changes in hormone levels, this spike can disrupt natural energy patterns and contribute to daytime fatigue and nighttime restlessness. Over time, this routine confuses the body's internal clock, making it harder to fall asleep at night and harder to feel fully rested in the morning. This sleep disruption has been linked in research to an increased risk of memory loss, cognitive decline, and mood imbalances in later years. In addition to the light exposure, the content viewed during early morning scrolling often triggers mental and emotional stress. News headlines, social media posts, and notifications can overwhelm the nervous system before the body has even stood up. Some studies suggest that consuming emotionally charged or negative content in the first hour of waking can raise levels of inflammation in the body, a known driver of many age-related diseases, including heart disease and arthritis. The brain, still transitioning from a restful state, may interpret this digital flood as a threat, activating stress responses that weren't necessary to begin with. Starting the day in bed with a screen also keeps the body physically inactive during a key window for circulation and movement. Gentle stretching, natural light, and deep breathing support the body's return to an active, alert state, but scrolling delays that process, encouraging a sedentary mindset that can persist throughout the day. For adults managing stiffness, fatigue, or brain fog, this delay can make the entire day feel heavier than it needs to be. Choosing to leave the phone untouched for the first 20 to 30 minutes of the morning gives the body and mind time to wake up naturally. Opening a window, walking to the kitchen for water, or simply sitting in quiet thought can help reinforce a healthy rhythm and reduce morning anxiety. For those over 50, this single habit change supports deeper sleep, calmer mornings, and better mental clarity, not just today, but for the long run. Not moving during the first hour after waking can have a surprisingly strong impact on how the body functions throughout the day, especially for those over 50. Overnight, the body remains still for hours, and blood flow slows. Muscles cool down, joints become stiff, and the nervous system takes time to fully transition into wakefulness. When movement is delayed for too long, whether by sitting in bed, watching TV, or staying seated at the breakfast table, circulation remains sluggish, and the body struggles to shake off the stiffness that naturally builds with age. For adults dealing with arthritis or joint sensitivity, staying inactive during the morning only compounds the issue. Synovial fluid, which lubricates the joints and reduces friction, responds best to gentle movement. Without it, joints may feel tight or sore, and over time, the lack of regular motion can lead to reduced flexibility and greater risk of injury. Doctors often recommend light activity in the morning specifically to counter these effects. Even a few minutes of stretching, walking, or mobility exercises can wake up the body and ease symptoms of joint stiffness. Circulation is another critical reason to avoid a sedentary start. Movement increases blood flow to the brain, heart, and muscles, delivering oxygen and nutrients that help support clear thinking, steady energy, and healthy cardiovascular function. In older adults, poor circulation can contribute to cold extremities, dizziness, and slower healing, all of which are worsened when the body stays inactive after rising. Gentle activity such as marching in place, slow yoga poses, or walking around the home can help restore balance and support vascular health. The first hour of the day also sets the tone for how the body responds to insulin, appetite, and stress. Physical activity, even in small amounts, helps regulate blood sugar and reduce cortisol levels. It prepares the body to digest food more effectively and improves insulin sensitivity, which is especially important for people over 50 managing prediabetes or weight concerns. Skipping morning movement can leave the body in a prolonged stress state, reducing metabolic efficiency and contributing to fatigue later on. Muscle maintenance is also at risk when mornings begin in stillness. Age-related muscle loss can be slowed with consistent activity, and morning is an ideal time to engage the body without intense strain. Light resistance, body weight movements, or simple stretching routines provide signals to the muscles that they are still needed, which helps preserve strength and independence in the long run. For older adults, moving within the first hour of waking is not about intense workouts. It's about honoring the body's need for gentle activation. Just 5 to 10 minutes can reawaken circulation, reduce pain, improve balance, and offer a smoother, stronger start to the day. Taking a hot shower first thing in the morning may feel soothing, but for adults over 50, it can come with subtle health risks that build over time. Hot water dilates the blood vessels, which may lower blood pressure too quickly after waking. This sudden drop can lead to lightheadedness, dizziness, or even fainting, especially for those already managing low blood pressure or taking medication that affects circulation. The transition from lying down to standing upright already puts a demand on the cardiovascular system, and adding a hot shower into that window can strain the body when it's at its most vulnerable. Beyond circulation, hot showers can also impact the skin. As the skin ages, it naturally produces less oil and becomes thinner, making it more prone to dryness, flaking, and irritation. Hot water strips away the skin's natural oils, leaving it unprotected and more likely to crack or itch throughout the day. This dryness not only accelerates the appearance of aging skin but can also weaken the skin's barrier function, increasing the risk of infections or sensitivity to soaps and lotions. Some dermatologists suggest that older adults limit hot water exposure to preserve skin integrity and reduce the need for heavy moisturizing later. While the comfort of hot water may feel necessary in the morning, cooler or lukewarm showers offer more supportive benefits. Cooler temperatures stimulate circulation without placing extra strain on the heart. They help activate the nervous system, increase alertness, and improve oxygen flow to muscles and the brain. This can help reduce morning grogginess and support clearer thinking, especially for those who feel sluggish after waking. Cooler rinses can also help reduce inflammation in the body, making them beneficial for those managing joint pain, swelling, or stiffness. Cold or cool showers have even been linked to improved immune response and reduced cortisol levels over time. While an ice-cold shower isn't necessary, simply avoiding overly hot water can help the body maintain balance and avoid unnecessary stress. For aging adults focused on maintaining steady energy, skin health, and cardiovascular stability, adjusting shower temperature is a small but powerful habit. Replacing hot showers with a gentle, cooler rinse helps preserve moisture, protect the heart, and set a more stable tone for the day. It's a quiet change that respects the needs of the aging body and supports energy without placing it under early pressure. Eating refined carbohydrates like white toast or sugary cereal in the morning may offer quick convenience, but for adults over 50, these foods can quietly disrupt the body's balance and speed up the aging process. Refined carbs are rapidly broken down into sugar, causing a sharp spike in blood glucose followed by a quick drop. This rollercoaster affects energy levels, mood, and focus, leaving many people feeling drained or irritable just hours after eating. As the body ages and insulin sensitivity declines, this kind of blood sugar instability becomes even more harmful. One of the biggest concerns with refined carbs is the inflammation they trigger. When blood sugar spikes repeatedly, it causes the body to release more insulin and inflammatory chemicals. Over time, this process contributes to oxidative stress, which damages cells, accelerates skin aging, and wears down organ function. Researchers have linked high intake of refined carbohydrates to increased risk of chronic conditions like heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and cognitive decline, all of which become more common with age. For older adults, managing inflammation is essential for preserving both physical and mental vitality. Refined carbs also offer little to no fiber, which is a key nutrient for people over 50. Fiber supports digestion, helps control cholesterol, and feeds the beneficial bacteria in the gut that influence everything from immune function to mood regulation. Without it, digestion slows down, blood sugar becomes harder to manage, and the body may struggle to absorb essential nutrients. Sugary cereals and white bread might taste satisfying at first, but they leave the body depleted and more vulnerable to fatigue and disease over time. Replacing these foods with whole grains or protein-rich options can make a significant difference. Whole grain toast, oats, or sprouted grain breads digest more slowly and provide long-lasting energy without the crash. They also contain B vitamins, magnesium, and antioxidants that support nerve function, brain clarity, and emotional balance. Adding protein, such as eggs, yogurt, or nut butter, helps stabilize blood sugar further and supports muscle preservation, which becomes increasingly important after 50. The first meal of the day sets the tone for how the body and brain function for the rest of the morning. Choosing refined carbs leads to a cycle of highs and lows that strain the body's aging systems. Choosing whole, fiber and protein-rich foods gives the body a solid foundation to move, think, and feel better. For those focused on aging gracefully, steering away from refined carbs is a step toward greater energy, sharper memory, and long-term resilience. Ignoring morning stiffness or pain may seem harmless, especially when it fades after an hour or so, but for adults over 50, it can be an early signal of deeper joint and muscular issues. As the body ages, cartilage wears down, muscles lose elasticity, and inflammation becomes more common, particularly overnight when movement stops. Morning stiffness is often the body's quiet way of alerting you that something needs attention. Dismissing it repeatedly can allow minor inflammation to grow into chronic joint damage or restricted mobility. Stiffness in the morning is typically a result of reduced circulation, fluid buildup in the joints, or inflammation that has built up during sleep. When left unaddressed, it can lead to joint deterioration over time. Conditions like osteoarthritis often begin with subtle stiffness that feels temporary. But failing to move, stretch, or apply warmth in response can allow joint surfaces to become more irritated and muscles to tighten further. Some physicians emphasize that early morning discomfort is not something to push through or ignore, it's an opportunity to intervene early with gentle movement or support. Incorporating a simple morning routine to ease stiffness doesn't require intense exercise. Even light walking around the home, a few slow stretches in bed, or applying a heating pad to achy areas can help improve blood flow, lubricate joints, and reduce inflammation. These actions support the body's natural repair process and encourage the surrounding muscles to relax, which helps prevent injury during daily movement. For those with arthritis or a history of joint issues, these habits can be particularly valuable in maintaining comfort and independence. When morning stiffness is ignored over months or years, the body adapts by limiting movement in painful areas, which leads to muscle imbalances, postural problems, and reduced range of motion. This kind of protective behavior can set off a cycle that leads to more pain, less activity, and increased frailty. Taking small steps to address stiffness early each day helps preserve flexibility, strength, and overall joint health. For adults over 50, stiffness is not just an inconvenience, it's information. Paying attention to it, and responding with care and consistency, can make the difference between maintaining mobility or slowly losing it. Choosing to stretch, walk, or warm the body each morning is a form of self-preservation that pays off in the form of steadier movement, less pain, and a stronger future. Waking up at different times each day may feel like a harmless part of a flexible routine, but for adults over 50, it can quietly interfere with the body's ability to maintain balance and repair itself. The human body thrives on rhythm. Sleep, hormone production, digestion, and cellular repair all operate on a 24-hour cycle known as the circadian rhythm. When wake times are inconsistent, that internal clock becomes confused, disrupting the very systems that protect energy, immunity, and mental clarity. One of the most immediate effects of irregular wake times is poor sleep quality. Even if total sleep hours remain the same, inconsistent timing can prevent the body from completing all its essential stages of rest. Deep sleep, which is crucial for memory consolidation and tissue repair, becomes harder to access. Over time, this leads to fragmented sleep, morning grogginess, and reduced mental sharpness. For adults over 50, these effects can accelerate cognitive decline and contribute to fatigue, anxiety, and even depression. Hormonal balance is also closely tied to consistent sleep and wake patterns. Cortisol, melatonin, insulin, and growth hormone are all released at specific times of day to regulate metabolism, stress, and cell renewal. When wake times shift from day to day, the timing of these hormones becomes less reliable, increasing the risk for insulin resistance, weight gain, and inflammation. Many doctors recommend establishing a consistent sleep-wake schedule not only to improve rest, but to help regulate everything from appetite to blood pressure. Inconsistent wake times also affect digestion. The digestive system is most efficient when it operates on a schedule, with meal timing synced to the body's natural rhythm. When the first meal of the day shifts unpredictably, it can confuse hunger signals, disrupt blood sugar control, and contribute to bloating or indigestion. These imbalances become more noticeable with age, as the body becomes more sensitive to dietary and lifestyle fluctuations. Establishing a steady wake time, even on weekends, reinforces the body's natural repair cycle and supports more restorative sleep. It helps improve focus, stabilize mood, and strengthen the immune system by keeping vital systems in sync. For adults over 50, this habit can protect long-term cognitive health, increase daytime energy, and reduce the risk of metabolic issues. Choosing to wake up at the same time each day is a quiet form of discipline that supports longevity from the inside out. Rushing into the day without a moment of mindfulness may seem like an efficient start, but for adults over 50, it can quietly activate a cycle of stress that wears down the body over time. The nervous system wakes up sensitive and impressionable. When the day begins with immediate tasks, distractions, or mental noise, the body shifts into a fight-or-flight response before there's even time to breathe. This state keeps cortisol levels high, and when stress hormones remain elevated over time, they accelerate aging from the inside out. Chronic stress has been shown to shorten telomeres, the protective caps on the ends of chromosomes that naturally shrink with age. Shorter telomeres are associated with faster biological aging, reduced immune function, and increased risk of chronic diseases. Elevated cortisol can also weaken the immune system, disrupt digestion, and affect memory and focus. For adults already navigating the natural changes that come with aging, starting the day in a reactive state can amplify fatigue, irritability, and feelings of overwhelm. Even 2 to 5 minutes of quiet reflection, gentle breathing, or gratitude can help shift the body out of that stress response. These brief practices engage the parasympathetic nervous system, lowering blood pressure, calming the mind, and improving clarity. Studies have shown that mindfulness-based habits can reduce inflammation, improve sleep, and support emotional stability, all of which are critical to healthy aging. Creating space in the morning for stillness doesn't require complex rituals. It can be as simple as sitting at the edge of the bed with eyes closed, focusing on the breath, or thinking of one thing to be thankful for. These small actions send a powerful signal to the body: it's safe, it's supported, and it can begin the day with balance. For adults over 50, this short pause isn't a luxury, it's a protective practice that helps preserve calm, resilience, and vitality as the years go on.